So, how do you make a game like Grow Garden 2 in Roblox Studio? And this time, let's add a Robux monetization system featuring developer products and game passes. And you can also find my Grow Garden 2 like premium framework, as well as a lot of other useful systems in the description. So now let's switch right to Roblox Studio. So we're inside our Roblox experience now. And when it comes to those developer products, those are what people can purchase over and over again, like temporary buffs for instance. And let's say we want to use HUD buttons for that. So inside Starter GUI we can add a new screen GUI called HUD for instance, and preferably set screen insets to none. And inside here we can add a new text button for instance, set its name, background color, transparency, its position and size, and also its font style, text size. And I think in my case I want to enable text wrapped. And now we can add a new local script to start a character script, so go with an existing one. But before we can connect it to a developer product, we need to create one in the first place on the Creator Hub. So here on the Creator Hub, we can go to the developer products tab and click create new product, give it an obligatory name as well as a price. And to keep it simple, I want to disable manage pricing and save my new developer product. And now I can essentially copy the product ID like this. And now inside my new or existing local script, I can get access to this button, make sure this hierarchy matches yours, as well as to my local player and the marketplace service. And now below here, we can listen to the button being activated and prompt this developer product purchase. So let's have a look whether we already did a mistake. So let's click this now. Perfect. And you know those are just test purchases. But now I also need the server to validate this purchase and grant the reward, in my case 100 currency, whatever it is. And now we can add a new server script to server script service or go with an existing one. For instance plots, get access to the marketplace service again and assign the so-called process recept function, which you can only do once per project, back across the server script. And in here I can get access to the player making the purchase and cancel if I can find them. And then I can identify the developer product they went with and, you know, basically do what I promised, like fulfill my promise, and in this case grant the player 100 currency and mark the purchase as granted, like successful. Because in our case, if you've been following the series, if not, I will be linking the players at the top right. We have our balance int value sitting directly below the player, having its value in here. So what does it look like? Excellent. And I will also be linking this entire Roblox Studio project in the description for you. So make sure to replace the two occurrences, or you can also keep them like this by enabling allow third-party sales. As you can tell, to give you some inspiration, in my premium framework I also have the scroll all tool. There we go. As well as various products in here, like this thing here for example. And now aside from those developer products, there are also passes or game passes, which your players can only purchase once per account. And they're also permanent. So for instance, let's go with a VIP status as an example here. So let's duplicate our HUD button, change its name as well as its text. And I also just noticed I likely want to set this to text scaled after all. And now back on the Creator Hub, one tab below where it says passes, we can create a new one, give it an obligatory name and click create pass. And when it comes to passes, now we need to open it and below sales, set item for sale to enabled and give it a price before saving the changes again. So now we can go back and copy this like we did before. So inside whatever local script you got again, we need to get access to the new VIP button and connect it to this thing this time, containing the new ID. So make sure it says Game Pass here. And now inside our server script, again this needs to be the same one, since this can only be assigned once. We can add a new ID to our sort of register here. And as an example, I added those two teams here, a standard one and a VIP one, the standard one being auto-assignable, unlike the VIP one, which also has a separate team color in addition to that. And since next time they join, this whole code won't be run again, since they aren't able to make the same purchase again. Inside a player edit event, we also need to retrieve the data, whether they own the thing or not, and if so, do the same thing we do below here. So let's do some more testing. Perfect. And you know this happens because I'm the Game Passes creator, but you will still notice once I click this thing here will show up. And you can also test this like by using multiple accounts. And when using chat, I also got this snazzy color now. However, fortunately, we can still test this by setting this to server and clients, and this to 1 for example. So now with this test player equipped, once I click this, you can still see the correct prompt showing up, and the benefit itself not being granted, unfortunately. But you can still simulate this by temporarily removing this and just, for example, set the player to player 1 for example. And the reason why this happens is because the player ID when it comes to test players are negative numbers, so their global API can't really find a match for it. Yeah, and this is how you can add a Robux monetization system to your game. But for now, let's wrap this up. Feel free to let me know if you need help with any of this, as always, and happy coding!